we need to figure out when is a turbine running. And to do that, we're going to go back to the data views, and we're going to create a new data view to try to figure out the turbine states and what does it mean when a turbine is in load operation, like what is the equivalent number. Because if you look at the data set values, again, if you scroll up and see the values here, we have turbine states, which are shown as numbers over here. So we want to know, what do these numbers mean? So we're going to use a data view to try to figure out what is the number corresponding to load operation when the turbine is actually running. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to the data views section and add a data view. And we're going to use a filter here. So here you specify a query, so you can specify a query ID. You can call it something like turbine state codes. If you want to save this data, it's not going to be actually required to save the data view, but if you prefer to save it, make sure you include your initials just to keep it unique, and the current date, today's date, and make sure you use this format. So 4-digit year, then the month, and then the day. And in the query value, this is where you specify the tags we want to get. Now we know the tags we care about have _OS in them, and that's something we check out by looking at the tags. So here, if we just put star, we can check all the tags, and we know _OS is the turbine state. So we can search for star _OS star. Make sure we get all the states and then apply. So we get a result of the data here. You can see the different values for all these tags. Now what we care about here is just show the timestamp, which is already shown. We want to show the digital state name. We don't need to show annotated, is questionable, is substituted, all these different default columns. We want to show the value, and we want to show turbine and apply. Okay, so this is showing us all this data. However, we can do some grouping here, so we can group by turbine. So we can click on turbine, and then choose group by from the top and apply. And we can also choose measurement and make that a key. And apply. Okay, so this gives us a simplified view of the data. So we're grouping by turbine and instead of getting that as different columns. So we can see here all the turbine states and all their values for each turbine. Okay, so again, what we care about from creating this is try to figure out what is load operation. So normal load operation, so that's the state name. What does it correspond to in terms of the turbine state value? Again, and that's because in the data set, we're getting the turbine state value and we're not getting the digital state name. Okay, so we can use that to figure out that we need to filter on the value 16 to make sure we're only getting the data when the turbines are actually running. Okay, so you can either save this data set or delete it. I'm just gonna cancel and not save it because we did this just to figure out what does load operation correspond to, what is that state value, state number.